How's it going, you all?
And welcome back to B-Bros.
WandaVision Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall, has arguably been the episode that answered most of our questions, and now we're ready to move on to the climax of the series.
There's a lot to talk about the episode, so without further ado, let's get into the breakdown.
As exciting as this episode was, we have to say it was a bit all over the place, with the interviews in the middle, which are adapted from 2010's sitcom Modern Family. These interviews are used to show us the thought process of these characters and are the reason why this episode is breaking the fourth wall. Also, we had 4 different stories going on at the same time. Therefore, we will break this episode into 4 stages and talk about them stage by stage.
The stages will be Wanda and Agatha, Vision and Darcie, Monica and Wu, and Hayward and SWORD. Let's begin with the main stage.
Wanda is under a lot of pressure after expanding the radius of Westview and has a hard time controlling her reality. As a result, everything around her physically changes throughout the eras we have seen so far. Wanda's state of mind isn't helping her efforts to control as well. She is in a depression state and cannot focus all her energy of preserving the environment.
The main reason behind Wanda's depression is Vision. He's not home and they have been breaking apart for the last 2 episodes. Now that Pietro is gone, which was the only thing that distracted her from the reality that she lost her husband, Wanda faces her hard reality. She is alone.
This is a great moment to talk about the commercial. We were expecting a drug commercial as they are the most popular ads with food ads we see while watching American television. And obviously this ad is about Wanda's depression. She even uses the pill Nexus inside the episode. But the importance of this commercial is the name Nexus.
The Nexus is a cross-dimensional gateway which provides a pathway to all realities. More importantly, there are Nexus beings which connect these realities and can access these pathways. Some of the examples are Kang the Conqueror, which we will see in the 3rd Ant-Man movie, and Wanda.
Wanda hasn't realized her full potential yet, but she might have used her powers as the Nexus being when creating the Hex, and even when she showed the Avengers their greatest fears in Age of Ultron. They can be images from other realities.
Billy and Tommy are worried about their mother's well-being. She thinks life is meaningless and has a completely different way of treating them. She used to be a loving and authoritarian mother, but now looks like a carefree mother. Obviously, who we know as Agnes up to this point comes to Wanda's rescue and takes away the kids.
Agnes is always there when Wanda is distracted, but she doesn't do it out of the goodness of her heart. She has an alternative motive involving the twins. We learn Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness, a witch, and she has been inside the game all along. Most of the things Wanda couldn't explain, she was behind it, the main one being Pietro's addition to the cast, and she was always around when Wanda needed to be brought back into her life inside the Hex.
We should open the parenthesis for Pietro at this point. We can see he is still around in the end of the episode, but has the purple glow around him, which shows he is still under the control of Agatha, so he will not be an ally, at least for the near future. Also, we still believe he is brought through a multiverse via Agatha manipulating Wanda.
We have seen many different types of superpowered individuals in the MCU. If we were to categorize them, they would be humans like Hawkeye, enhanced humans like Cap and Natasha, intelligent humans like Tony, aliens like Thor, mutants like Pietro and Wanda.
They used to be mutants before the Mind Stone experiment.
And finally, sorcerers like Doctor Strange. We have many characters who cannot be categorized into only one category, for example, the Hulk as an enhanced human due to gamma radiation, and also an intelligent human as Bruce Banner.
However, up to this point, we could have identified each superhero or villain using these categories. Witches were not present up to this point, and the only users of magic used to be the sorcerers. Now we need to use the term witch and change the sorcerer category to magicians.
We would like to talk about the origins of Agatha in order to know her and understand her motives. Agatha used to be one of the most powerful sorcerers in her community in Salem. She was involved in the Salem witch trials. The identity of her husband was always hidden, just like Ralph in WandaVision. In later centuries, she makes a deal with Mephisto, the devil representation in Marvel Comics, to steal Wanda's children and bring them to him. So far, we can say this background fits for MCU Agatha as well.
This explains her actions so far perfectly. She has been there all along, planning for this moment. We don't know how long she has been tracking Wanda or how much role she played in creating this reality, but we know she wanted to be inside the Hex when Wanda created it. We should also mention another magician who can be involved in the MCU in the near future, who can have a link to WandaVision, Nightmare. He is rumored to be a villain in the Doctor Strange movie.
Another mention of witches come in Avengers Endgame with Frigga. She says she was raised by witches.
There were some important references inside Agatha's home. Billy mentions how quiet Agnes's mind is, whereas he mentioned how noisy it was back home. Wanda controls nearly every aspect of life in Westview, including the thoughts of every individual. She might be keeping all that information, all the feelings and thoughts in her head, and Billy can hear them due to his powers. At Agatha's, he doesn't, because Agatha is not under the control of Wanda.
When Wanda is inside Agatha's home, she feels the quiet as well. She also spots a bug on the curtains. A bug is the animal that Mephisto first shows up as in the comics.
In the end of the episode, we are in the basement and there are a lot of magical witch stuff around. Later, Agatha reveals herself to Wanda and the episode ends.
Agatha brings Wanda to her basement on purpose and now ready to reveal her plan. We don't know what she will do with the twins or Wanda. Although in comics she trains Wanda to be a witch, so there's a possible scenario where Wanda and Agatha have an alliance. She can also use the kids as a leverage to access the Nexus. There's one thing that we know for certain: Wanda needs help.
We have mentioned in our previous episodes that the Vision is the key to solve this mystery and snap Wanda out. He is now as close as it gets to knowing his old experiences after his chat with Darcie, and has a clear goal: helping his wife.
Darcie allows Vision to see who he used to be and brings his faith and love for Wanda back. Vision sees that to help the people in Westview, he has to be close to Wanda as possible, not far away.
There are obstacles along the way to Wanda that Vision thought she was causing to keep him away. But we know that Agatha is behind it. She knows how important Vision is to Wanda, so he has to be away for Agatha's plan to work. Unfortunately, she keeps Vision away enough with the interviews and blocking the road.
We are curious about the children passing by. There used to be no kids in town, and last episode we saw a bunch of them. Maybe Agatha was the one who kept all the kids in her basement and now she uses them. That is what Pietro mentioned last episode, and we know Agatha has a thing for kids.
Vision might be the key, but Monica will play a crucial role in the last 2 episodes as well. In the beginning of the episode, she and Wu meet with Monica's friend and they plan to get inside Westview safely. However, things do not go according to plan. The vehicle they brought has a hard time passing the borders. The vehicle is made out of a very dense metal and the Hex has a hard time changing its molecular integrity.
This might be the reason why Vision could not leave Westview. Maybe vibranium cannot pass the borders. Also, we have to mention Wanda as the reason why they cannot pass. When Wanda wants, she can allow anything inside. Her security is more strict after what happened last episode.
After failing to drive inside, Monica decides to pass the border on her own. She passes through the borders for the 5th time and she gains powers this time. She doesn't know how to control her powers, but we see her use it when confronting Wanda. We cannot say she resisted Wanda, but she definitely prevented herself from getting hurt. Her powers will be crucial in the last 2 episodes. If not with Wanda, definitely against SWORD.
Monica wants to help Wanda because she knows Wanda is just in a bad place. Monica also lost the person closest to her and knows how to help Wanda because of it. She was nearly communicating with Wanda when of course Agnes intervened. Monica became the closest person to helping Wanda but failed in the end.
Agatha is not the only villain of this story. Hayward and SWORD is getting ready to burn Westview to the ground with launching Project Cataract. We have seen the files of the project when Darcie was cracking the codes, and we will see it in action next episode. SWORD settled 8 miles outside New Jersey and gets ready to attack. Monica and probably Darcie are the only ones aware inside, and they have to find a way to snap Wanda out before SWORD acts. They can use Vision's help as well.
We also find out that the main reasons why Hayward wants to attack Wanda is Vision. Before Wanda stole her, Hayward was trying to bring him back to life as his personal sentry weapon but failed. That's why he was tracking Vision before, and that is why he is launching now. SWORD's plan involves Vision.
It is important to point out the technology of SWORD was not enough to bring Vision back to life. He needs a power source like the Mind Stone or Wanda, which we can say she is the closest thing to the Mind Stone. Shuri was the one closest to separating the Mind Stone from Vision and keep him alive.
Maybe she can be the one keeping Vision alive outside Westview, or maybe Wanda already took care of it with her powers. We also wouldn't be surprised if Agatha knows how to keep him alive anywhere, and she will use that as a leverage against Wanda.
There are 2 episodes left and things are heating up. Agatha's plan is underway. SWORD is launching Cataract and a big conflict is inevitable.
There's a big guest expected to be introduced into the MCU before the series is over, so we're looking forward to seeing some new faces in the last 2 episodes. This is all from us this week. We will be back with more content next week. So for now,
Bieber's out.